Hello guys, today I'll be doing a CD collection video. It'll be for 3 bands that I randomly chose, and those bands being Aerosmith, The Cult, and Def Leppard. So we're going to go ahead and start off with Aerosmith, the debut, Get Your Wings, Toys in the Attic, Rocks, probably my favorite Aerosmith album, Draw the Line, probably one of the most underrated albums of the 70s when it comes to rock in my opinion, Night in the Ruts, Rock in a Hard Place. I think this album's also underrated. Yes, it's not their best, but I think it has its share of pretty strong songs like Jailbait, Lightning Strikes, Cry Me a River. I also really like the title track too. And Done with Mirrors, another album I find underrated. I think it definitely deserves more attention from fans. I absolutely love this album. It's raw, a little bit different for them, I guess, compared to other albums, but yeah, definitely a pretty good album. Permanent Vacation, Pump, Get a Grip, Nine Lives, and Just Push Play, which in my opinion was the last good Aerosmith album. Now, I don't have Honkin' on Bobo or Honkin' with Bobo or whatever it is. That album, if I remember correctly, it's a covers album, and that album just has never really done much for me. I mean, yes, it's kind of unique and different in their discography, and I get that it has its fans, but for me, it just doesn't do it for me. Then you have Music from Another Dimension, which is another album I don't really care for much. I do like Out Go the Lights and What Could Have Been Love and one or two other songs, but the album just, I don't know, just an album that just doesn't grab me, if you know what I mean. But finally, the last Aerosmith CD, The Essential Aerosmith, and that is it for Aerosmith. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to The Cult, who in my opinion, a very underrated band, a band that definitely deserves more attention. I mean, if you're into 80s rock, you should definitely check out this band. So let's go ahead and get started. Dreamtime, Love, Electric, Sonic Temple, Ceremony, and this is a promotional copy, which is pretty cool. Got it for a cheap price too. The self-titled, or the Black Sheep album. It does have many titles, but yeah, I think this album is also kind of underrated. A bit different. A little bit of hints of grunge, a little bit of hints of like garage rock, and hints of many other things, but I like this album. This compilation here. And finally, Beyond Good and Evil. Really dig this album. Kind of heavy, or it can get pretty heavy for the Cult at times. I mean, I really like some of the riffs in this album. But yeah, in my opinion, this was their last good album, or at least last strong album. But that's just my personal opinion. I have to agree. But Born Into This never really done much for me. I thought it was I guess a bit generic, but that, again, that's just my opinion. And then you have Choice of Weapon, which I also, I mean, it's a little bit better than the previous album, but again, it's just an album that just doesn't grab me in general. But then you had Hidden City, which I thought was better than the previous two, so that's nice that they're improving with each album lately. But with Hidden City, outside of 3 or 4 songs, the album again just doesn't, I don't know. It's not bad, it's just the album, again, like the previous 2 albums, they just do not grab me all that much. But again, not bad though. But now we're going to go ahead and move on to Def Leppard. On Through the Night, High and Dry, Pyromania, in my opinion, one of the best rock/metal albums of the 80s. Hysteria, Adrenalize, Retroactive, Slang, Euphoria. Now we get to 2000s Def Leppard, which I don't have any CDs for. They only had 3 albums, I believe. It was X, which I think is their weakest album. They started going more of a poppy direction with that album a little bit, and except for the song Now. I like the song Now, but everything else just doesn't do it for me. I know there's another single on the album that I know has its fans. I'm blanking out on what it's called, like Long Long Way to Go, I think. I never cared for that song. Not bad, but just doesn't really do much for me. But then you had Yeah, which was a covers album, and I don't know, the album just didn't impress me all that much. And then you had Songs from the Sparkle Lounge, which I think that album title is kind of dumb, kind of bad. But it did have a couple songs I liked. I'm blanking on what they're called at the moment. But again, the album, it's okay, but not good enough to own, I guess, for me. But I don't know. Songs from the Sparkle Lounge just doesn't really, I don't know, impress me all that much. But next, Self-Titled. I thought it was a strong album when it came out. I mean, the replay value is maybe not as strong now, but it does have some songs that do still hold up, at least for me. But I think Wings of an Angel is kind of an underrated song. I really like that one, maybe my favorite on the album. And then finally, we have the best of the story so far. I have the 2-disc one, and it's definitely worth owning if you're into compilations or buying compilations that have to do with Def Leppard. But anyways, that's my collection. Let me know your thoughts on my collection for these bands. Let me know if you have any albums from these guys and all that good stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment and a like, subscribe. Have a nice day, and take care.